Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. So got some bad news. Unfortunately, I keep breaking this damn thing. I keep moving it around the room because I haven't had a chance to really sit and work on it, and it keeps breaking. So you can see I broke a piece here, broke the rear blade back here.
Step dummy. Step dummy. You kidding? Guy was dancing up. Me just look at this. Broken, God, broken.
And every time I seem to set it down, something else wants to pop off or break. I did do some dry fitting with the plastic windows and everything. They fit okay, and I haven't put the doors on yet, but I did spray paint this. I did a black undercoat and an US olive drab from the top down to give it like a nice subtle gradient along the entire model, which is cool. But because it keeps breaking and it's so damn fragile and I'm just like ready to get into stuff, I decided I was going to make it a crash scene. I think that would be pretty fun. We'll have some US troops defending off against some Viet Cong, and I'm going to use this. Essentially what this is the underside of a Christmas decoration. So it had Christmas trees in it that I broke out, and I was going to put something in here and make it like a wall hanging display, but I like it. I really like the height of it and the fact that I can just like build on top of it. So I think that's going to be my plan, is to sort of make this a piece that gets viewed in the round rather than having it up on the wall. But I do like and recommend that if you're ever out thrift shopping, or if you're at Hobby Lobby or something, check out their clearance section. You can always find great little prefab pieces of wood like this that are great for making dioramas with. You can use them however you want, obviously. What I'm going to do is I'm going to build up some elevation with cork along the entire width of the box, and I'm going to glue that on. Look, this even broke. Look at that. Look, tail fin broke. Right here, I almost broke another thing. These, I think this will go back together pretty quickly, but because I'm going to use it make it damage, and it doesn't matter. Ever just it keeps breaking. It's very small and thin, so I guess I'm just too rough. What I'm going to do with this box is add some elevation using cork. I'm going to glue it down with some tight bond wood glue, which you see right here. Then I'm going to cover everything in Vallejo mud. So I have two different kinds of mud. I have European mud and I have brown earth. The type of mud doesn't really matter. It's just mud is mud. But we'll build up a little bit of it, and then I'll figure out where this is going to go, like loosely in the center for this video as well, because we're going to kind of get as far as we can with it. And then I'm going to paint it up. I still want to do like the teeth along the edge here, but I'm going to add some weathering and some damage effects across the entire length of the helicopter, and then I'll figure out the troops where they're going to get next. So I'm going to be able to get. I've decided basically to make this whole Silver Bayonet set into several little dioramas. So I'm going to set up the cork board. I'm going to glue it on with the tight bond, and then just get to work with adding some of that muddy texture. I don't think I'm going to spray paint it first. I think I'm just going to get right into the muddy texture, because this will essentially dry like an acrylic anyway. But let's dive into building up the base of the diorama. So there's really nothing fancy about this. I'm just gluing this tight bond to the bottom of these cork board pieces, and I'm just applying them in sort of like random areas. I wanted to keep it largely free of the center so that the helicopter could crash there. And then later on this is actually where I'll stick the majority of the trees and shrubs. So I'm also shaving down the sides and giving them a bit more of like a smoother rise to the top, so they're not just like hard edges. And that really wouldn't matter too much if I was just like caking on the mud, like you'll see me do in a minute. But you'll see me here, I'm using this mascara tool I have. I bought this set of makeup brushes, and this was in it, and I've never used it for anything. I was like, oh, let's just try smearing it on. And I kind of liked how it gave me this like line texture. It was a fun little use of a mascara applicator. Definitely I can't recommend it necessarily. This particular one started to break on me at the joint. Like, these are very cheap, but it did kind of work in a fun little way. Then I moved over to using my sculpting tools after this dried, and my first thought was to just try to get them the various plants to stick into the mud and let them dry. But I had to clip off the long points of all of the various plants to do that, and then that didn't really make sense. So what I ended up doing was digging into the high points of the cork and then sticking the trees into the cork. You can see me using a little PR40 glue in the hole and then just sticking the plant right in there. So the first attempt didn't really work, and then this actually was a great solve. Did not initially plan for this. It was sort of like a, let's just use the cork to build up elevation, but it ended up being perfect for those long stems of these various trees. And I start to go from like just, I actually got pretty quick with it, just digging holes with my sculpting tools, adding a little bit of that PR40 glue into the hole, and then inserting the trees, and like you'll see me insert various pieces of like little green leaves and stuff like right here. I actually even went a step further and broke these down into smaller pieces by cutting them, because the plants just look like a little bit too big and vibrant. I mean, they're pretty cool, but it seems it's a little bit more leaning into like the Avatar side of things. I wanted a little bit more realism, just a bit better scale for 172 figures. And then the helicopter. So I clipped them all, and then I started to piece them together. You can see me doing that right here. Once I got going and really found like a smooth process for this, I really enjoyed it. Balancing the trees with the various plants' life was really fun. And making sure that I had enough smooth areas for the soldiers and helicopter to sit on comfortably was it wasn't really a challenge so much as it was like just an interesting exercise in diorama building. I haven't done anything like this with like this kind of intention before. In the past, I've always built like these planes for my soldiers to fit on. You've maybe seen them in some of my other videos. And then I just sort of put pieces on top of that, and it's more of like a modular diorama. So this is much more intentional. These trees aren't going to come off anytime soon, but I still will be able to remove the helicopter and the figures when I'm done, and like set things up differently, and maybe even add more interesting elements and things for the eye to focus on. I really like how as I was shooting the photography, I really like how as I was shooting the photography for the final diorama, that I had all these little vantage points, and I was able to craft these little scenes of things happening, and that's in large part due to the the Italeri sculpts. Now I know they're originally Eschi sculpts, so shout out to whoever designed these. They've got a great amount of storytelling in them. There's people on the ground, people being pulled, people being defended, people running. They look like they're like caught in crossfire. And then you just got your generic standing around and your shooting poses too. So it's a great mix of sculpts and styles that I was able to place around the entire diorama and give it a lot of little elements of storytelling. It's a lot of fun. So here I am. I'm adding some more of that European mud and slathering it on, and now I'm going to add this battlefield grass green and just going to sprinkle it over top. I've got this tray underneath of it to catch all the pieces that I'm going to shake off. But it really worked great. I didn't use any watered down PVA glue. I didn't have to like do anything like that. If I really wanted to like solidify where the leaves are and really harden it up, I could spray everything with isopropyl alcohol and then mix in some water with PVA glue and spray that over top, and it would really like make everything solid. But for the purposes of what I'm doing and wanting to maybe make this a bit more modular in the future, I didn't want to go too heavy with the glue. So I just sprinkled it on everywhere, and less than 24 hours, this stuff was dry, and that grass really isn't going anywhere. You get a little bit of flakes here and there, chip like falling off, but it's pretty set in stone. So here I'm just going to shake it all off, shake it off, and yeah, you just it's from here on out, it's adding just more details. I'm going to in a second here show you what I was doing with like just placement, and you'll see the Huey with some troops that I set up to kind of get a feel for it. And I took some photos of this, and I posted on the community page of my channel, so you can check those out in more detail if you want. But this is essentially, I just wanted to get a sense and feel for it. This is before I damaged the Huey too. I have a separate video of me painting the Huey, the teeth on the front, and that's in a short on my channel if you want to check that out. It's performing really well, so thank you to everyone who's checked it out and given it a like. But yeah, that Rambo guy looks badass standing there with the chopper. Also the angle of the camera, it's really cool. That I went back in and I decided I needed like just more things. I have all this bamboo that I bought, and it's a little bit fluorescent for my liking, but I did pop it in there to give it some more just
vibrance and texture, and it does work when it's out of frame and like blurry. It's very bright compared to the rest of the diorama, but I don't hate it. I didn't want to get in there and start spray painting everything and painting it all over because I wanted to keep momentum up, and that just kills my momentum. If I really wanted to go in, I would spray paint the trunks of all the palm trees, and I'd probably just give everything hit everything with the airbrush, which is working now. If you've been following along, I actually got it working now, which is cool. But this is cool. Like I used that bamboo to kind of set up the edges here and add some more background intrigue. Just a quick cleanup with my little handheld vacuum here. And this is kind of where it's at. I used a bit of gamer's grass to fill in some of the low points and give some more cover for the troops. And then I'm going to go through, I'm going to set it up in a second here. You'll see some of the little points of interest that I created across the entire diorama. So enjoy. Congratulations if you made it to this part of the video. You've unlocked bonus content. Basically, I want to say a quick thank you. Please remember to like and subscribe. That goes a long way to help growing the channel. It really means a lot to me. I spent a lot of time on this whole build and this video over the past few weeks, just sort of figuring things out and then just finding the time to not only build, but to shoot and then to edit. And now I get the pleasure of sharing it with everyone. It was really a fun process. I definitely am looking forward to building more dioramas with similar techniques, especially now that I just know how enjoyable it is when I really get locked in. If you want to see more content like this, let me know in the comments below. I still have more parts of the silver bayonet by Italeri to build. I've got like the APC and a tank to construct still, so those could be fun future videos. And be sure to check my channel for a future video on how I painted the Viet Cong, because that will be coming out probably within this week. Now that I have this larger video done, I can chop this up and make some smaller videos out of it. I find that the figure painting tutorials go over a lot better as shorts rather than long form content, but I'll do my best to try and be detailed and descriptive and show you what I did. They were not complicated to paint. I tried to really aim for simplicity to give them a battle-worn, rugged, dirty look, and I think they turned out great. So thank you again for watching. Please enjoy the rest of the video as it plays out. Let me know in the comments what you want to see next. If you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them. And share this with your dad.